Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show. Today, episode 184. It is Friday, September 25th. I'm your host, Kellen, with me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here.
It's good to be back. Couple week break there. Things got slow, then they got crazy, then I took a weekend off. So sorry that we're back though, and we have a ton of stuff to talk about. October starts in what, two days, something like that, and for the first 2 weeks, it's device announcement, weekend, device announcement. I mean, it's just one after another. So we're going to kind of do a somewhat of a recap of what's coming in the next couple of weeks, which should be fun. And then we'll just talk about just some other stuff that's happened over the past couple of weeks that we've been gone. Trivia is back once again. And this week's sponsors, you can see on the screen if you're watching live, is Aukey. They provided us with 5 of their USB-C desktop charging station. So one USB-C power delivery 3.0 port, then a couple of regular USB ports to take care of all of your charging needs. So big shout out to Aukey for providing those. That's 5 of those. So 5 winners in trivia, just like we always do. If you're new to this and you're listening live, you should hang around till the end of the show because we actually do trivia and we give away prizes to people live on air, that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, so let's start. I'm looking at the list of devices we need to talk about. So Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL are, we know they're coming. They've leaked everywhere. No, we don't still think there's I should say, no, we still don't believe that there is any sort of secret device coming. We think it's Pixel 3, Pixel 3 XL. Outside of those, though, we're pretty sure we've now seen another device that'll pop up, the Google Home Hub, which is a smart display type of device. I was going to hold the one up right here, but that's not like a phone. You can't just show it to you. I have the LG or the Lenovo one right here. But so Google's making their own. We figured they probably would. Anyway, it's called Home Hub. We've got pictures of it now. We think we've possibly seen pictures of the new Pixel Book or Pixel Book tablet, Pixel Slate, whatever we're calling it these days. So we know the Pixel 3 and 3 XL, almost everything there, but there's other stuff Google's doing. Then outside of that, we got OnePlus 6T. We've got the LG V40 coming, the Razer Phone 2 coming. Samsung was going to announce or is announcing a Galaxy device of some sort. We think it's just a Galaxy A device, which isn't necessarily something we typically cover. So let's start with Google stuff briefly. I don't know that we need to dive into really deep details of the Pixel 3 and 3 XL. You guys kind of know everything here. So what we've got in terms of new stuff, though, tutorial video has popped up. And the tutorial video really just shows Android Pie, which we all have on Pixel and Pixel 2 already. There's sort of 2 things that stuck out to me. One, the camera app has been updated. And when I say updated, I just mean it now looks like everybody else's camera app. So I believe Apple did this first, actually, where you're in the camera app and you swipe left to right on the screen and it switches between modes, like from video to portrait or whatever, instead of like having to tap a button. I think Apple did that like a couple years ago. I think, is it Essential? I don't know. Somebody else does it. There's like 3 or 4 companies now that all seem to do that. Does Samsung do it now? I can't remember if they do. They do in the Note 9, don't they?
I feel like they all do it.
I think everyone does it. So it's basically Google just catching up at another thing there. What they did show, though, is like a real-time Google Lens integration there. So open the camera, put piece of information in front of it, and it picks up what that is, rather than like tapping a lens button and telling it to go into that mode. So they held up like a business card or something that had an email address on it, and it grabbed that, lets you email that person just by tapping on it, which is kind of cool. Other than that, the tutorial didn't show a ton. It showed the regular Pixel 3 with no notch, Android Pie. What maybe revealed some information is somebody got a hold of a Pixel 3 XL screen protector. I don't know why you buy these things this early, but it kind of came in handy because they used it on top of they placed it on top of their Pixel 2 XL. And I mean, what would you say? It essentially showed the same size phone, right? You just now have a cutout at the top. I mean, it almost lined up perfectly, didn't on top of that Pixel 2 XL?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, at least from what we can tell from a third-party screen protector. It's basically the same phone, but the display goes all the way up to the top, and then there's a display cutout.
And we kind of thought that when we got the leak, well, it's been months now of the CAD renders of the 3 and 3XL, the dimensions provided in that suggested that both phones were almost identical sizes to Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL. They just have slightly different designs. So if you have a Pixel 2 XL and you like that size, Pixel 3 XL is going to be the same size, just with more screen and a notch that you either love or hate. And then the Pixel 2, same size, or I'm sorry, the Pixel 3, same size as the 2, just with a bigger display. So, all right, so we got that. We got more photos of the phone, although it's not like we need more photos. We've seen these in videos and in photos and in as dev builds and pre-production models and all sorts of stuff. So we got some of that. We think, and this was actually a couple weeks ago, but we haven't talked about it on air. We think colors, there's a Google teaser site out there in Japan that if you click around on this sort of device silhouette, it changes colors and shows the silhouette of what we expect to be the Pixel 3. So we've got a black model, a white model, which we've seen, and then maybe a mint colored model. And that would make sense. The white model has a mint power button on it. So, and then there's possibly like a fourth color that's either like a pinkish or sand color. So we think that's happening. Oh, Pixel stand. Forgot about that. So Pixel stand we've talked about off and on. Wireless charging stand, we believe, for the Pixel devices. We got a first picture of that. It looks like a white wireless charging stand with a round base. So nothing really new there, except that it keeps sort of helping confirm that we do think wireless charging will be in these phones, which I think people are excited about. I think that's it, right? In terms of recapping what's been going on. I think so. Yeah.
Considering the phones haven't been announced, it's been pretty busy in Pixel 3 and 3 XL talk.
It's really kind of crazy how much we know about these phones. And it all kind of started with, well, we don't know how the Russian-Ukrainian team over there got a hold of the phones that they've been leaking, but that's kind of how this all started, right? Like we've seen some other stuff trickle out, but the bulk of the leaks of these things was from those guys who got a hold of a couple of devices and seemingly passed them around to each other so they could each make videos or whatever they've done. That was kind of the big thing. Otherwise, we haven't seen a ton of stuff. It's kind of been a trickle out, but yeah, so we know quite a bit. One thing I found interesting is while we've been away, Apple announced all of their new stuff, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but when the reviews of the iPhone XS came out, and everyone did some camera testing and has this new dual camera and whatever, a number of them said that they think it's a really good camera. It may not still be even as good as last year's Pixel 2 XL camera or Pixel 2 camera, which is a single shooter. And I think it just shows how far Google's come in terms of their camera technology and the algorithm or whatever they're doing behind the scenes to really prop up photos. And the reason I bring that up is people are sleeping on the Pixel 3 because we know so much about these two phones, right? And people hate the notch and some people don't want the smaller version. And they're wondering why they should buy it. That's like one of the reasons right there is the Pixel 2 XL has a better camera than the iPhone XS, which just came out, and the Pixel 3 is still not here yet. So assuming they change sensors or tweak something, we're talking about potentially another upgrade even over. So when people were wondering like why we're still excited about this phone or talking about like that's why is there's potential there for this to be an even better camera than the one they had last year, which is arguably still the best, if that makes sense.
Yeah, even if as long as it's on par and not a downgrade, I mean, anyone who gets it will probably be happy with the quality.
So I'm sorry, say that one more time. Oh.
If anyone picks up the Pixel 3 XL and it's on par with the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL camera-wise, they should be happy, I would think.
I would think so, too. So that's kind of recap Pixel 3 stuff. We could just move out of there and talk about Google Home for a second, or sorry, Google Home Hub. So we had heard rumors, I think dating back at least a year or so, but for sure in the last few months that Google was probably working on its own smart display. We now believe it to be called Google Home Hub, and there's pictures of it that show, it kind of reminds me of a Square reader, you know, that you check out at stores, and it kind of looks like that. It's like a white tablet display up front, centered on top of a base, which is where the speaker is, and the base kind of has that Google Home Mini, Google Home Max like cloth cover around it, but for the most part, it looks like a tablet you would put down and then it has speaker and all of that stuff. The UI is not going to be any different than what you get from a Lenovo Smart Display or the JBL Smart Display. That stuff won't change. It just kind of has a little more googly Pixel-esque look to it, or Google Home look to it. We think it's probably going to be priced around $150. 7-inch display. We don't know the resolution on that. I'd imagine it's... What do you think? Do you think it'll be 1080p? Like this Lenovo one, the smaller 8-inch version is like 720, I think. And then the bigger Lenovo one is 1080p, I think. So
150, 7-inch? I don't think so. I'm expecting 720p.
720.
Yeah.
What's a little weird is the pictures we've seen from it show some sensors up top, but no front camera, which is weird because that's one of the big pushes with the initial batch of smart displays was duo calls on your smart display. If there's no camera on there, I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, that's kind of it. We saw it go through the FCC right after it leaked for the first time. I'm sure they'll talk about how it sounds great as a speaker, but most of these smart speakers don't sound amazing. So I don't know that I'm getting too excited about that, but $150 is not a bad price point. I mean, the Lenovo one is what, 200 and 250, I think. I think the 8-inch is 200, 10-inch is 250. So they're severely undercutting people, and maybe that's why it doesn't have a camera and stuff like that, and a 720p display.
I actually have not used the camera. I mean, I've had one sitting in my office for a little while now. I've never used it to call you or anybody, so I don't know if it's even necessary, but I'm sure that is one of the selling points, I would think, right? So you can call grandma, give one for Christmas to grandma. Then, oh, hey, grandma. But
one of the
really.
like cool applications I think of it could be like I'm sitting at my desk, you're sitting at your desk. If I just needed to quickly get a hold of you or whoever, and I know they have one, I could just like, instead of picking up my phone and dealing with that, I could just like tap it and call, because I think you can turn off the camera and still do duo, so you could have almost like a voice call just right there. So it has some application, but like you're the only person I know with one, and like I talk to you all day on Hangouts or what, I don't necessarily need to video chat you. So it makes sense as a feature, but yeah, unless you know like some really important people in your life that have that you would want to video chat with, yeah. So it's one of those things where I kind of feel like I would like one because it's the Google version, but I already have this Lenovo one, which is totally fine and I like, so I don't know that I'm going to buy one. If you didn't buy one of the initial Lenovo or JBL ones, like this looks like a good buy because it has $150 or at $150, and there's no camera in case that weirds you out. So all right, and finally the next Pixelbook. So the next Pixelbook hasn't leaked a ton. There's a couple of Chrome specific sites like I think it's Chrome Unboxed, and then there's another site called About Chromebooks, and they've kind of been on that beat covering like what's going on there. And there's a couple of devices that they've been following. I think one's called Nocturne and one is called, I should know the other one.
You should. Do your research.
I know. I'm like looking at the post right now. It's Nocturne and I can't think of the other one. Either way, trust me, there's two. Nocturne is rumored to be a tablet though. And so we think that's Chrome OS tablet. And this company called Bridge, and to be honest, I have no idea who Bridge is, but apparently they're a big deal in the iPad Surface Bluetooth keyboard game where you like attach Surfaces and iPads to. Apparently they're a big deal. I have no idea because I don't own either of those products. Anyways, they outed a couple of their keyboard options that are not yet sold, and they are set up for Chromebooks, and they show a picture of a device that could be this Nocturne device, which yeah, it looks like a tablet running Chrome OS, has a fingerprint reader on top, which is kind of cool, a couple USB ports and speakers. So it sounds like it'll be pretty awesome, but it also will probably be, kind of expensive, and we'll have that whole conversation like we did with last year's Pixelbook about whether or not it's worth it. So I don't know that we're expecting anything else from Google. We're definitely not getting a watch. So Pixel 3, 3XL, Home Hub, new Pixelbook, and possibly also this Pixelbook tablet, which David Ruddock from Android Police said he believes is going to be called Pixel Slate, which is kind of a silly ass name, but I mean, that's 5 products, unless they have a new version of Chromecast, which I don't think so. Is that a good lineup for Google to hit the holidays? Like, I feel like we also need a new Google Home, but maybe not, because we still have Mini, which most people are probably buying. And then you have Max if you want more speaker power. Like that middle version, the original Google Home, like it probably just needs to go away because it doesn't really make sense. Like it doesn't offer great audio. So you might as well get a Mini. But if you want good audio, you get Max or now Home Hub. Because Home Hub is $20 more than that regular Google Home, except it also has a display and probably a better speaker. So I'm thinking like maybe it just replaces the middle Google Home.
I'd be fine with just an updated Google Home. I don't think you should get rid of it though, because it's better than a Mini, not as good as Max, and it doesn't have a display for people who don't need a display. So maybe just drop it to $99 and just leave it.
Yeah, it is a couple of years old now. It feels like they either need to replace it now with a new one or just get rid of it. I mean, that thing is old. It doesn't even match the like design aesthetic they're going for anymore, because it was before they started really using all the cloth and stuff. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't really fit anymore. Like they need to upgrade it or just get rid of it.
You could just release a cloth base for $10, $20, and it's updated for the lineup. I mean, I just
it has
don't
like
think
the
they
weird
should get rid of it.
Yeah, I guess maybe they should just upgrade it. Like Amazon, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they introduce a new Echo device. It seems like every year at this point. They just did a new one. And they have, how many different versions do they have? Because they have the Spot, the Echo, and then there's an Echo Plus, right? They have 3, I think, different versions as well. I guess I just don't know why you get the middle small one, but maybe just because it meets needs or something. Either way. That's kind of the lineup. So I don't know that there's any surprises at this point, unless we get new Pixel Buds, which have not leaked. I think EvLeaks said that there was maybe new Pixel Buds coming. Somebody said that. I don't know. It's been a while, but we haven't seen that hit the FCC. We haven't seen Pixel Books hit the FCC as far as I can tell. So if those things are coming, they haven't showed up yet. So, all right, that's Google stuff. I think we're all caught up there. October 9th in New York City. In New York City, of all places.
Damn it.
Love you, New York City. Just don't like traveling to you. That's all. I'll be there for that. So we'll have all the stuff from there. All right. So next up, and I'm kind of going in order of what I kind of think our readers probably care the most about. So we're going OnePlus 6T next. So OnePlus 6T has... the leaks are starting to come out. OnePlus still hasn't said when they're going to announce this thing, that we think it's October 17th. They did announce that it'll have an in-display fingerprint reader, which is no surprise at this point. They also said it won't have a headphone jack. We'll have dual cameras on the back, not triple cameras like that really fake leak that was passed around for a while suggested. And then we also got... CAD renders and that sort of thing from OnLeaks once again, and it shows the phone from like all angles. We have the like little teardrop notch up top, pretty small chin on it. The back has no fingerprint reader because it's in the display, dual camera setup. It's a nice looking modern 2018 phone. I mean, it's probably one of the best looking, I would say, that we've seen of the year because the notch is so minimal. I mean, we're getting pretty close to being all display here with this phone. So assuming these are right and these CAD renders are right, I think just about every single time. Looks nice. A little bit taller, a little bit wider, and slightly thicker than the OnePlus 6. But when I say that, I'm not even talking like a full millimeter. I'm talking like less than a millimeter in each direction. So it doesn't really change the size. It's going to be great. We know the price will probably go up a little bit. The specs will probably be just like the 6, like 1080p display, Snapdragon 845. You'll have 6 or 8 gig RAM, plenty of storage if you want it. Nothing's really going to change. And they took out the headphone jack, and you know that price is going to go up like $30. That annoys me a little bit.
I say bring it on. I want OnePlus to piss off as many people as possible.
Which they
and if by removing the headphone jack, and I mean the notch, it's not very offensive to me. I actually think the phone looks like a good design. When we saw it from Oppo, what was that, the R3 or whatever?
R17
or something.
Pro? I don't know.
Oh yeah, you might be right. R17.
Something like that.
Either way, I thought it looked like a good phone, so I was pretty excited about it. But OnePlus still kind of chaps my rear a little bit with this whole, because I'm never going to recommend anyone buy that first iteration of a phone in the calendar year. Just don't do it. Just wait for the T every time. So I really do hope. I've got the OnePlus 6 sitting here, and it's got a headphone jack and all that. And I saw someone in the comments mention, like, since they're dropping the headphone jack, it better be waterproof. But
it won't be. No way.
I know there's plenty of other phones out there that have headphone jacks and are still IP68, and so I don't think
everything
it's
Samsung makes. Yeah.
So I don't think it's the headphone jack that's been stopping them.
No.
I think it's a price consideration,
100%.
engineering issue. So.
Mm-hmm.
We got Alec in the chat saying no headphone jack needed. Surprisingly, OnePlus ran a poll recently. I don't know if we were going to talk about this, but they ran a poll because Carl Pei, the head OnePlus, he was curious, like, do people still use headphone jacks? And lo and behold, maybe they were shocked to see the results that people do care about headphone jacks still. So.
Like all of their readers.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to maybe people are just like tone deaf, or these companies are at least. When you just take away something that's been sort of a part of phones, for years, and there's going to be a little backlash. Thankfully, I think the options at least are getting better, right? A lot of these wireless audio solutions, they're not bad by any means.
Well, they're going to start selling you USB-C buds to make up for it.
Yeah, selling USB buds, selling new Bluetooth headsets and wireless buds and all this good stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming, a lot of new ways for other companies to make money thanks to this trend of the headphone jack going away. So capitalism at its finest, people. I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah, so he asked in March. He said, "Do you like headphone jacks 2018 edition?" And like 20,000 votes, 88% said yes. And then they bragged about the OnePlus 6 having one and how great it was. And then months later, like, now's the time. You don't need it now. It's like, these guys.
They should have just removed NFC while they were at it.
They should have just gone back. Right? Might as well, yeah. We asked if our readers would buy a headphone jack or a phone without a headphone jack, and 56% said yes. Our readers are coming around here, and 44% said no.
Well, our readers are super progressive, and they're on the bleeding edge, and they know that apparently the 3.5 millimeter jack is heading out the door. So it's time to adopt. It's interesting. Someone said, "Welcome to Dongle Life," or "Welcome to Dongle Town," Roger in the chat. And I was going to say, you recently picked up a new MacBook Pro, which is, of course, the Dongle Town. However, the MacBook Pro still has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And I was thinking how interesting it would be if they removed it from the laptop as well.
You can't be doing that.
I would be pissed.
You can't be doing that. Yeah. And they have plenty of room to always keep it in there. I would probably boycott and switch to something else at that point, because like when traveling, I constantly grab headphones and plug it in there. And if I had to use a dongle for that too, it's probably going to happen though, because they're really going to push this world away from 3.5 millimeter. And so I'm sure Apple will do it before long. That's going to suck. Then those little dock things that have 16 ports and hubs and stuff in them, those little hub thing, they're going to have to add a 3.5 millimeter. So then you're going to have to go buy a new hub to plug into your, gross.
Those hubs aren't cheap.
No,
for the good
not.
ones.
They're not. So OnePlus, we still don't really know what's going on with them and T-Mobile. That was a month ago now, I think, when they told CNET that they were going to sell their next phone there, but we haven't heard anything else on that. I don't know that T-Mobile's acknowledged it or anything like that. We'll probably find that out the day they announce it. It's kind of where we're at there. We know exactly what the phone will look like. We pretty much know what the specs will be. The only thing we're waiting on now is how T-Mobile will work, how much it'll cost. In sort of related news, the OnePlus 6 got official stable Android Pie since we've been off the air, and it's kind of a big deal. We're talking 45 days, 6 weeks, something like that, since Android Pie was released, and now it's on there. And obviously they're working on 5T and 5, I'd imagine, but their flagship phone that was released earlier this year just got stable Pie. I mean, it's them in Essential. I think Nokia released it for a phone this week, but like that's it. But that shows they're getting faster. OnePlus for a time was really, really horrible at this. So they're getting better. Roger in the chat. Sorry, just one second. Roger in the chat with $2 donation. We really appreciate that, Roger.
Thanks, Roger.
Very
Hi,
nice.
Roger.
First donation of the day. That's great.
Kicking
Thanks
it
so
off
much.
strong.
Yes.
I keep forgetting that the 60 is going to have the in-display fingerprint reader, and I don't know why I keep
so
forgetting
excited.
that. Very excited.
Yeah.
Very excited. I mean, 2018 is going to be a good year. It wouldn't really surprise me. I'm kind of leaning that the OnePlus 6T could be phone of the year. Like if all things kind of like pan out right. Like I don't see why it can't. It has the potential to. You know, I'm not saying I'm just giving it to it without even holding it, but it has the potential to be a candidate, no doubt.
As long as that in-display fingerprint reader is good, you know they're pushing it like crazy. They released a teaser on Twitter today that showed how like it kind of in action, this little animation, and said like unlock the future or something cheesy like that. And I don't care about that part of it. I'm just excited to finally have a phone because these things have been in I think China for a while, phones with in-display fingerprint readers, or at least for the last few months. But now we're going to get one in the US that we can actually buy and use. And look, I don't know if people are going to ever start looking at OnePlus as like a leader in pushing new technology, but they might just be one of the first, and then we'll see other people follow in line. Because the fingerprint reader is one of those things that I don't want to ever see go away because I don't want to do the face unlock thing. I want a fingerprint reader. I like pulling out my phone and not having to look at it and being able to unlock it instantly. And right there on the display is kind of about as good as it gets. So hopefully it's not terrible, because if it's terrible, that's going to put like a stain on the whole in-display fingerprint reader thing. So hopefully they think they've gotten it right.
Yeah, Rashad in the chat is asking, does the Pixel 3 XL get disqualified from being phone of the year because of the huge notch? I'm going to have to say no, it does not, because I mean, you may not like it, and even if I didn't like it, like I mean, you can't just knock it for the notch. I mean, you could say yeah, it could be better, but I don't think the notch is the reason it would be disqualified, right? Because it's still going to get updated quicker than most Android devices. It's probably going to have a legit camera. Maybe if the display has an insanely blue tint or black blobs whenever you're scrolling through stuff. I mean, there's other things that could be wrong with it, but I'm not going to say the notch is what will disqualify it. So.
Yeah, I almost feel like we can't call the 3XL phone of the year because I think people will like light torches and like burn Droid Life down because they're so mad at that phone. Yeah, I kind of think so. So we'll probably just call it phone of the year. Another donation, Clinton in the chat with the $5 says happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. It's good to be back. Appreciate that, Clinton. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So anyways, OnePlus 6, Android Pie. Big things happening. We still haven't seen Samsung update a single thing to Android Pie, so I don't know yet that we're on that treble train of it actually doing good, but OnePlus has shown that it's okay. And Essential obviously got there already, so.
Treble train.
That treble train.
Yeah,
I want to start that treble train.
I don't know if the train is ever going to leave the station for Samsung. They just don't really.
They don't care.
They're in no rush, and why should they be? They don't care. Their market doesn't care. Customers don't care. They don't even seem to know. No. So
yeah, they don't seem to care. In sort of random, unrelated, well, kind of related news, OnePlus announced just a week or so ago that they're going to make a TV. That's their next move into a different electronic space. Apparently, Pete Lau, their CEO, was a big player in the Bluetooth or the Blu-ray industry, I should say. And so he's got all the experience in the world with TVs, it sounds like. Pause for a second. Richard in the chat with the £10 donation says, have a drink on me. Appreciate that, Richard. Jeez, when you guys get that, speaking of trains, like the Dono train, kind of crazy.
Train.
Yeah,
that's a good one. £10.
Very nice. That's like $80 here in the US, I think, isn't it?
I mean, our dollar's slipping. It could be like 1,000 now. I don't know.
It might be. That's huge.
Considering
Roger,
who we got
Clinton, and Richard, all donations. You guys are very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So OnePlus is making a TV, 4K LED TV. They're saying they're not going to use their own like TV OS. They're going to use somebody else's, which I'm just assuming means Android TV. I don't know why they would use. I guess they could license LG's WebOS TV or something, but that would cost money. Whereas Android TV, I'm pretty sure they can just use for free. So I'd imagine it'll be that, and it'll come out next year. Do you care that OnePlus is making a TV? Like, are you well, if it's running Android TV, it's something different, but
I could get it and write it off because that's a work expense. Like
that's true.
It's probably Android TV, dude. I mean, do I care? Yes. Do I think it's going to change the TV market?
No.
Absolutely not. It's going to have zero penetration. You've already got a billion other players, TCL, or sort of like these up and comers to the U.S. market. At least Hisense is starting to really kind of pick up their U.S. game. And it seems to be the way to do that is the smart TV aspect, right? The Android TV integration. And with everyone else kind of jumping on that board, and even the big guys like Sony, who are adopting the Android TV. Good luck, OnePlus. I don't know what they expect. Like, do they expect this to be a hit? Like, I have no idea. How do you innovate that? I don't know.
They've talked, so they kind of mentioned that they just want to make it a smarter hub for your home, right? So they'll put Android TV in and put Google Assistant attached, right? But like he kept using this example of, we want to make it really easy so that if you just want to like share some photos from your phone to your TV, you can do that. It shouldn't be really hard to do that. And I just keep going, do people really like send photos to their TV all the time? I mean, I think I've done it like twice in my life.
That's like, I mean, that's an exaggeration. I don't think I've ever even thought about it. But then also, I mean, the way that sounds, that's a, who was that company that was trying to release that phone that were total scam artists with the V2 squared?
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, how are we not thinking of this?
I don't know, but this is like our jam. Segas. Yeah, I mean, that's like Sega's thinking, right? Like, people need all this different type of functionality that really I don't think normal users ever think about, but they think that that's maybe what will push the sales. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know either.
I saw
Joseph in the chat. Yeah,
hard.
Joseph in the chat, $2 donation, says keep up the good work, fellas. Appreciate that so much, Joseph. Thank you so much.
You guys are kicking serious ass.
You guys are crazy. So yeah, the other thing, not to keep talking about TVs, but TVs are one of those things where you kind of need to go into a store and look at the picture, right? Like you go into Best Buy and you see a Samsung, an LG, and a Sony, and you can look at them and go, which looks good to my eye? And OnePlus does the direct to consumer thing where they just sell stuff off their website, and yeah, they ship it direct and it's cheaper and all this stuff because they don't use third parties. But TVs are a little bit different, so yeah. Seems weird.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
You see them in the store and they look beautiful, bright, crisp, clarity. And then you get it back home and you're like, what the hell? It looks nothing like this, because they calibrate it all special. Right. Like, I am not a calibrator of any sorts. I don't know anything about that stuff. God,
they all have it in their store mode. It just cranks colors on everything.
Yeah, the contrast is perfect. Like, the black levels are appropriate. I'm like, what the hell, man? And then you get it home and it's just like not the same thing.
Right. Yeah. All right, LG V40. Again, we're still kind of going in order of what I think is probably most important. This is just totally me being me here. LG V40 is going to be announced on October 3rd, so that's next week. That's
next week.
It's like Tuesday or something, Monday, Wednesday, somewhere in there. So next week, LG V40 is they're the first, I believe, of all the phones I've talked about so far. So LG V40. We've seen some press renders of it. I think EvLeaks gave us a version front and back. It looks very much like an LG phone. Display seems stretched in the pictures. Also has a notch like the G6, or I'm sorry, the G7. And then LG also this week essentially unveiled the thing. They posted up a little short teaser video and a little blog post and said, we don't normally do this. In fact, we've never done this, but we're going to unveil the phone before we announce it. super weird. And they didn't show everything. They didn't talk about processor and RAM and camera specs and things like that or price, but they did show the top half of the phone, the triple camera on the back, the fingerprint reader back there. They showed some angles of the sides, which I think is a Google Assistant button again. They talked about the colors it'll be available in, and that it'll have a 6.4-inch display, except the body's the exact same size as the V30. So they kind of showed it to us. I think it looks pretty nice, but I say that about most LG phones, and then I play with them, and then the software I'm not really a huge fan of, so that usually kind of dies down fairly quickly. But October 3rd.
That's coming up.
That's coming up soon, next week.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the return of stuff and things. Fantastic. You know what sucks, really, is that LG's hardware game has been stepped up ever since the G5 catastrophe, disaster, monster fail. And then, but then the software never caught up, right? The software is still stuck on that G5, kind of like blocky, janky, heavy, laggy kind of this feeling to me. And so I never was able to fall in love with the V30 or the G7 or the G6, just because the software hasn't changed at all. And it's this UX that does not resonate with my inner spirit whatsoever.
Yeah.
And maybe because it looks kind of cartoonish or something. I don't know. There's just something off about it. But
yeah,
I'm going to let all that go, and I'm going to let the V40 be like a new experience. And I'm going to try to use it and be like, okay, this is cool. Triple cameras. Okay, what can we expect from that? Like, what great additions in software features can we hope to see from triple cameras? Dual front cameras. I mean, come on.
5 cameras. Yeah,
that's a lot of cams.
Yeah, I wish I could pinpoint what. Oh yeah, could they do something like that?
Yeah.
I wish I could pinpoint what it is specifically about like LG skin and Samsung's that I don't like, because they both improved. I mean, since we started first ragging on them years ago about how bad they were, they've improved greatly. Samsung's experience is no longer, I would no longer categorize it as awful. There's just something about it I don't like. And LG's is much faster than it ever was. It follows more of Google's guidelines than ever before. But there's something like a cartoonish feel. There's something, the colors, I don't know what it is. And you can theme these things and stuff, but there's just something that bugs me, and I just don't know. I wish I could pinpoint what it is, because I would love to share that, but yeah.
I will say, with regard to LG and their adoption of kind of Google's take on AI and how it implements with mobile, they're doing a great job at being sort of like the bullhorn for Google. Like, hey, use Google Assistant. We've got a dedicated button for it. Instead of the Samsung approach where it's okay, Google made something, that means we need to make a copy of it.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a worse copy. And, you know, like the whole Bixby thing and all that. So having LG adopt the Google Assistant, adopt Google Lens into their own camera software and all that I do appreciate.
Yep.
So I don't want to just kind of, LG sucks at software. Like, that's not entirely true, but there is something about it that I've never really been a fan of.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that one day we'll see just like a reimagining of their software, or even just a vanilla sort of version that, you know, just maybe like an option for no skin. That would be cool.
Well, because they did just release their first Android One phone, or announced it anyway. So they are open clearly to this idea of a cleaner stock Android experience. I just wish they would. Well, they probably never will, but it would be great if they would go, look, we haven't been doing good for a few years. So the G8, it's going Android One, and they just do it. And look, it takes a load off of them. They don't have to customize his entire OS and all this stuff. Like, they could still use their own proprietary camera app, right? So all the fun camera tricks they like to show, they could include that in Android One. But then they could just ship clean Android that gets updates even faster, because they've opened this software center that was supposed to be really fast. It hasn't done much. It could be really fast if they switch to Android One and then just include a couple of their own proprietary apps. I would love to see it. I don't know that anyone will ever do that outside of like Nokia and Motorola.
You take that money saved in the engineering department, your software engineers, and you throw that in your marketing department, and just you let people know that it exists, and be like, hey, it's like a Galaxy or a Pixel, but with no, it's got good camera, it's got all that, but it's LG hardware and it's pretty good, and it matches up with the tone headphones really well, and it's got DAX, and I don't know. I mean,
hardware wise, they do a pretty good job at this point.
They do.
This phone looks slick. Like the pictures of it's carmine red or something like that looks really nice. It's supposed to have like a matte finish, I think they said in there. So it sounds nice. It's just again, we keep coming back to we don't love their software. So.
Sorry, LG.
Yeah. All right. Razer Phone 2 up next will be unveiled on October 10th. We don't know a ton about the Razer Phone 2 except from the couple of renders that have leaked recently, which basically show the same phone as last year. Except we might get a Razer logo that glows through their little Chroma app, which is their thing. I used to have a Razer keyboard. I was gonna hold it up, but they're really into glowing things that turn colors a lot. So this phone will apparently do that. I think we've talked about this on a previous show, but like they better improve the camera. Because everyone already said that the display was awesome, 120 hertz refresh rate on there, has big old booming speakers, a giant battery. It's got a lot of stuff going on that sounds great for a gaming phone. But if it's your phone, you also need it to, like take a picture. It's like the Essential phone failed initially because its camera was that awful. And kind of the same thing happened with this phone. It was just bad. So they better announce that it's the greatest camera ever, or I don't know why the hell you upgrade to this thing. Maybe you don't. Maybe this is your first time and you skipped the last one because its camera was so bad. Now you're going with the new one. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know really what to say about this device. I mean, it looks so similar to last year's, and last year's I wouldn't say it's an acquired taste simply because it's the most plain looking smartphone design in the world. It's a rectangle. It's got some speakers, a display, it's got cameras on the back. I don't know what the selling point of this phone will be because last year's was the 120 hertz, obviously, and the large amount of RAM, large battery, good performance, optimized, etc. This, I guess it's going to be the same thing, but with
new processor, so 845.
Sure.
Probably the same RAM. Probably maybe a slightly bigger battery because they've tweaked some of the components. I don't know how they improved the display other than going, it's a better 120 hertz display.
I'll be really interested in the whole Chroma logo on the back and how, lighting that and whatever effects they have for it to maybe affect the battery life, or maybe they had to.
That's a worry, right?
Yeah, maybe they had to slim the battery a little bit to fit the LED back there or something. I mean, who knows? We don't know. The point is, it sure does look a lot like last year's phone. And in a market or in an industry that is continuously updating its looks year to year, is it going to be detrimental to basically keep the same phone design and just upgrade the internals? Like, will people catch on with that? Will they like that? Or do they want a new phone? Or I
kind of wonder if because their original phone launched, it's not like there was a big advertising campaign for this thing. It was more like a, here you go, media, share this. Let's kind of spread this around the tech world, and didn't get a huge push. Maybe they'll just kind of go, well, not that many people knew about it. So if we release the same phone with upgraded internals and now we've gotten it right and now we can do a big push, maybe they'll do something like that. They're just going, look, just kind of forget that first one. Here's this new one, which is kind of like the one you should really care about. I don't know. Otherwise, I'm with you. It's kind of a weird thing to see the same phone be released with a flashing light on the back.
Yeah, Felipe in the chat is asking, what's up with gamers and RGB lights? Dude, it's not just gamers, it's gamers, it's YouTubers. Like, YouTubers, when they get their hands on this phone, they aren't going to shut up about, oh, it's got Chroma LED on the back. I can change the color. Like that.
They're going to coordinate their background Philips Hue setup to match the lights on that and do some really slow pans.
And so the thing about a smartphone, that's all about being like a supercomputer in your hand and they can do a bunch of stuff, is that light does absolutely nothing.
Right.
You already got the LED flash on the back, so it's not going to act like a flashlight or anything like that. Like, it's literally going to do nothing. It's simply there for aesthetics.
It could be a notification light, but that would require you turning the phone on its face, which just makes me cringe. Yeah. And unless it's bright enough that when you get a notification, maybe it'll glow out the bottom. That could be something, but I don't know how you would do that unless you have it slightly raised off the back. And I don't think we're seeing anything that shows where it would be lifted to be able to let light out of the bottom. So I don't know.
A few more days and we're going to find out.
That's true. So we asked everyone what phone or launch they were most excited for from October. And even though everyone hates the Pixel 3 XL, apparently 55% of our readers said, yeah, Google's stuff still. Then OnePlus 6T at 24%. Then new Samsung Galaxy product, because I think people thought this Galaxy A event might be something different. It's not. Then V40, then Razer 2. So still
damn, V40 beat out Razer 2. That's, I gotta say, it's kind of impressive.
Sure did.
I wonder if I could do a poll of just the Stuff and Things fans, the V Series fans. Are they happy with the changes that have happened to the V Series, right? There's no secondary display or anything like that. I feel like a lot of what made the V Series different from the G Series are all but gone. Yeah. So I'm curious how the Stuff and Things folks feel about this.
Yeah, because the secondary display is gone. The removable battery is gone. That really weird look from the first one. Remember the first one had metal panels up the side and like a DuraGuard like tire back cover. Like it was such a weird phone, but there was something at least unique about it. Whereas now it's hard to differentiate between the G7 and this V40 from the pictures I've seen, other than it has more cameras.
Yeah, two more cameras.
One,
yeah, something.
I don't know, something like that.
I have a G7 around here. Is that dual front?
Is it dual front?
No, just wait. Yep, just one.
So they added two more cameras and basically the same body and turned the camera sideways.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right, switching gears for a second. Amazon went crazy last week. Was that last week or this week? It was last week, right? Yes, I believe so. So last week, Amazon hosted this event up in Seattle and announced how many products? Like 14?
I counted it as 14.
So Amazon, we had seen a report just a couple of days before that said they're going to announce some new stuff, including like a subwoofer and an amplifier and a microwave. And boy, did they ever. They announced a new Echo Dot, a new Echo Plus, a new Echo Show, an Echo Auto, which is like a car thing that I don't know why anyone would buy. Then they announced an Echo Input, which is kind of like Chromecast audio. It has no speaker, but you attach it to a speaker. They announced the Echo Sub, the subwoofer, the Link Amp and Link, which are essentially amps to power other speakers. They announced a smart plug. They announced a new Ring stick-up cam, and then they announced a microwave. You can't talk to the microwave, right?
Nope.
Okay, so it doesn't have Echo or Alexa built in, but it has like a reorder button, doesn't it? Where you can like magically reorder popcorn if you want. Either way,
something like that.
There's actually an Amazon microwave. They did announce a wall clock that has Alexa built in, which is kind of fun. It just looks like an analog wall clock, except it has some smarts in there. I think you can set timers on it and stuff. And then they announced a Fire TV box that is a DVR called the Fire TV Recast. I mean, that's like most of it. They also announced some services, like a security service to work with all of your Amazon stuff and a whole bunch of stuff. Will you buy any of this? Just curious.
No. I mean, I'm just so not in... now because Google has Google Assistant basically in everything, all aspects of smart home, I don't need Amazon anymore because Amazon was leading the charge. And so it was like, back before Google Home and all that, it was cool to have an Echo and things that worked with Echo. But now I'm no. I just don't need that.
Yeah, I don't really think so either. The new Echo Show looks a hell of a lot better than the original one. But, the Dot, I got minis everywhere. The Echo Plus, I've got other Google Homes, other places. I don't need an Echo Show because I have a home, or not a home hub, but this Lenovo one. The Echo Auto thing, I think, is about the dumbest product I've ever seen. I don't know. So you plug it into your car and then set it on your dashboard, and then you can talk to Alexa on it, except it doesn't have a display or anything. So I'm assuming you get directions through it, maybe, but then it only speaks them to you. You can't visualize them. I guess you could probably text people through it. I mean, just set your phone up and click the Android Auto app. Just do that. It would be better, I think, than that. So that I don't get. The input thing, again, it's you would hook it up to speakers. The sub actually looks kind of cool, the Echo sub, because doesn't it pair with other Echo devices, so you can kind of make a nice little sound setup there. It would be cool to see Google, somebody do like Sonos has a sub. The crazy thing is the Echo sub is what, like, it's $130, and Sonos wants something like $700 or $800, I think, for theirs. I don't know. The smart plugs possibly, as long as they work with Google Home, Google Assistant, Ring stick up cam, whatever. I don't need a new microwave. I do like the clock, and I don't use Fire TV. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna buy. I can appreciate the massive range of products they announced. It was pretty overwhelming. They were just standing on stage, and we were watching some of the journalists who were there, like, live tweeting it, and they were like, here's another new one, and another new one, and another new one. It was pretty wild. As you said, though, I'm fully invested in Google's ecosystem, and having both Amazon and Google stuff in the same room, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, but I can applaud Amazon for what they've done. The other thing I'll applaud them for is nothing leaked. Okay, so a couple days before someone said this stuff was coming, whereas like Google stuff is everywhere. Anytime Amazon announces something, it's usually mostly a surprise. So I do like that they're able to keep stuff under wraps.
Congratulations, Amazon.
Yeah, you're able to keep a secret.
We knew that microwave was coming, though.
We did know the microwave and the sub were coming. So, but we didn't have pictures of it or anything.
True.
Otherwise, and the rest of the stuff.
I thought it was going to be like a full Alexa microwave. But that's like some $60 cheapy thing for Amazon Basics. Nobody want that.
That you can reorder popcorn through. Yeah, that's like it. All right, so moving on to Amazon, let's talk quickly about Wear OS. So Wear OS 2.0, which a month ago when Google announced it, did not want to put a number to it, but apparently it is actually Wear OS 2.0, which is confusing because Android Wear was already up to 2 or 3.0, and then when it became Wear OS, they dropped it back to 1, and now we're back up to 2. It's super confusing. It is actually going to start rolling out today. Which probably means your watch will get it in about 4 months.
2019.
Yeah. I mean, I have this like Huawei Watch 2 right here that I've been wearing fairly regularly. And this was one of the devices that they recently ran a beta on. And so you would think it might get it first. And, you know, I've checked a couple times today and man, it's okay. There's no update. So, yeah. If there was like a Pixel Watch or something, then we might actually get updates in a timely manner.
That'd be cool.
Eric in the chat just dropped $10. He says, always enjoy the show. That's huge, dude. Thank you so much. And we know you are always in the chat as well, and you always win a prize just about every week. So really appreciate that, Eric. Really Thanks, appreciate Eric. The support there.
I want to get like a cowbell or something. I feel something needs to be done when the donos take place. I was going to get like a button system. It's too much. I just need a cowbell.
Something. We need something that you can just ring them up. Thank you, Eric. Really like appreciate that. Ding, ding, ding. So Wear OS 2.0 supposedly rolling out today. I don't think anyone's seen it yet. It doesn't change much other than kind of your home setup. To the left, you have Assistant. To the right, you have Google Fit. Below, you still have notifications. And up top is still settings. You still click buttons to get to like the app selection and things like that. It's not going to extend battery life or anything like that. I don't think. It's just a change in how the UI works. And it looks like a nice change. I don't know. Anyway, almost everyone's going to get it except for the original G-Watch, the Gear Live, the original Moto 360, the Sony Smartwatch 3, and the original Asus Zen Watch. Everyone else should get it. So I think that even means the original Huawei Watch people, which is fantastic news.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Related, Snapdragon. So this has also happened since we've been off the air. Qualcomm announced the Snapdragon Wear 3100, their new wearable chip, which should give Wear OS a nice little boost. What we've got is quad-core processor, and they've paired it now with an ultra-low power coprocessor that allows it to extend battery life. So the big push here is that there are going to be a whole bunch of different sort of battery profiles you get to choose. There's one that's your normal smartwatch mode, which battery life will still last like a day, maybe 2. And then there's going to be a sports experience, and they're going to announce a sports partner, I think, to launch this experience when it comes later. And what you do there is kind of shrink everything down into using GPS and heart rate and all this stuff. And they say in that mode, it can last up to 15 hours. So you could go do like ultra marathon and not kill your watch, which is actually a pretty big improvement. And then the third one is traditional watch mode, where it turns off everything. And Qualcomm says a battery can last up to 30 days when fully charged, or 1 week if you have about 20% left. So they've created this new chipset, and the big addition is this co-processor, ultra low co-power processor, whatever we're trying to say there. And it should just let you switch between profiles to extend usage, which should be nice. The first watch we should see running it is a Mont Blanc Summit 2, which will probably be a really nice watch. It just likely will be $800 or $900 or $1,000. So I don't think anyone's probably going to be lining up to buy that. They also announced Louis Vuitton will have one. So now we're talking like a couple $1,000, I think.
Okay.
And then they said Fossil is on board, which makes sense. I did see the other day, we didn't actually report on this, but a new Fossil watch hit FCC, and it was called the Q Sport. So it looks like Fossil's making a sport watch finally. Not all the other ones are kind of fashion stuff. Looks like Fossil's going to try to dip into the sports lineup. So we didn't get anything announced at that Qualcomm thing from like LG or Motorola or Huawei or Google, obviously. So we don't know anyone else that has smartwatches except those ones we just kind of announced, although I would expect more to be announced. Let's see. Galaxy Note 9 fans who complained that the initial launch was only blue and purple models. We've got silver and black models coming now. So if you were holding out for extra colors, they announced this week that silver will be arriving on October 5th and black will be a little bit later, like October 12th. So yeah, if you wanted a Note 9 in black, it's coming.
Breathtaking.
Yeah. The worst possible news in the history of all news. Google said they are killing Inbox, which is their email app. That is 1,000 times better than Gmail ever thought of being. They are going to kill it. And in March of 2019, it will be dead. And Google says, look, we've moved all of its cool features to Gmail, which is a lie. They have not. And I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them. The minute I have to go back to Gmail and whatever that stupid red accent bar is, I'm going to find a new email app. I am going.
I'm trying to find some legit sound buttons for him. I was looking for a sad trombone, like a wah, wah, wah.
Pulled out like the horn.
Because I know you're depressed about Inbox.
I am incredibly depressed about Inbox. It is. I know you didn't really like it. And a lot of people tried it and they were like, okay, I don't like this. And I used it and just like, it's become the app I use. And my email management, I feel like is so efficient these days. Like I can clear all these old crappy emails at once with like a single button. It had snooze first. It had all this stuff. Like the way it's laid out. God, I love it. I love it. I'm not happy. I am not. I might just every single month leading up to that write an opinion piece about how stupid Google is for killing Inbox.
Sorry.
Wait, what do I have to do to get it overturned? Whenever I write something, like the opposite happens. So what do I need? I need to write that Google killing Inbox is the best move ever. Yeah. Thank you, Google, for killing Inbox. It was the worst app ever. And then maybe they'll switch.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, moving on to other news. Final topic before we get to trivia. Verizon announced 5G service. They announced that it was coming, before the end of the year. That's home internet, not mobile wireless. It's called Verizon 5G Home. And it actually, you can sign up for it now if you're in one of the 4 markets that serve it and in one of the limited neighborhoods within those markets that are going to serve it. But it starts October 1st. So if you live in, Houston, Sacramento, Indianapolis, and LA, you could potentially sign up for 5G. Out of the gate, it's $50 per month. If you're a Verizon customer, $70 if you're a non-customer. The first 3 months are free. There's no annual contracts or equipment charges or installation fees. The fees and taxes are rolled into that price also. If you sign up, you get 3 free months of YouTube TV and either a free Apple TV 4K or a Chromecast Ultra, whichever you choose. And you could see speeds typically around 300 megabits per second. And then if at peak speeds, we're talking 1 gig. So that's coming now. I would totally try to sign up and test it for a little while. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? You get the first 3 months for free and there's no installation costs or anything. I mean, they do have to like mount a thing on your house, I'm pretty sure. And again, we've talked briefly about the health effects that we don't know have been thoroughly investigated there. But $50 per month to possibly have 300 megabits per second down speeds. I'd take that. It's cheaper than my Comcast, although I think I pay for gig speeds now. And either way, when I was paying for like $250 down, I don't think I was paying $50. It was much more than that.
That's not too bad.
That's pretty much it, I think, for topics.
Oh, that was a lot.
I tried to get through those. It took an hour. I was hoping that it would be not much longer than that, so we could still do plenty of. Birds are asked, are there data caps in Verizon 5G Home? They say no. They say it's unlimited, but I mean, we know what unlimited means to Verizon. That means there'll be 6 unlimited plans of 5G Home before you know it, and they will all have caps. Are you still trying to find like sound?
Yeah. Someone gave me
you need like trivia.
You
need like a trivia kickoff like song that you can just play. I mean, I could probably play it. All right. Anyway, is it trivia time?
I think it's trivia time.
It's trivia time too.
Let's go ahead and kick it off.
Yeah, because I'm way sick of talking about all that stuff. Trivia time. Oh, okay. So trivia for those new around here, or just to recap for those of you who are always around here. Every show we do trivia at the end. It's 5 questions. We award prizes to 5 different winners, so 1 winner per question. You can only win once in a show. That's pretty much it. We ask general Android or industry related questions. You answer in the chat as quickly as you can. And if you're the first person to answer with the correct answer, you win. And Tim and I look at our screen, and whoever shows up at the top of the list is who wins. And what we say goes. So that's pretty much it. We also often recommend at this time you drop the quality down, whatever you need to do to get that really, really fast connection to our live stream, or if you need to refresh, or whatever you need to do. That's pretty much it. We will show the question on the screen. Tim will also read it aloud. So if you need to go audio only, whatever you got to do.
Whatever you got to do to win, dude.
But 5 questions, 5 winners. Once again, our sponsor this week is Aki, and they have put up 5 of their USB-C charging stations. That's, again, a single USB-C power delivery 3.0 port up top and a couple of USB ports down below. It would come in handy on any desk. In fact, I think I might have one of theirs somewhere.
They're pretty dope.
They make really good. They've been one of the leaders in fast charging. When quick charging first came out, Aki was like one of the first companies that was like, here you go, making quality stuff. That's always like the kickoff. Oh God, it is.
Okay.
All right.
All right, let's
ready?
Start it off. Yeah, question number 1, please.
All right, question number 1 going up now.
What year did Inbox by Gmail launch? Ooh. And again, what year did Inbox by Gmail launch?
What year did Kevin's life change?
Eric just got his $10 back. Congratulations. Yeah. In the chat with the correct answer of 2014.
2014 is correct. That's too funny. Yep, Eric Ortiz. That's who I got to.
Congratulations.
Thanks for the dono. Awesome. Enjoy the prize.
He's good. He's really good.
He seriously has the fastest internet ever. Eric is like next door. He might be upstairs in my house, just like on the same internet connection, just wired in.
Yeah, that'd be creepy, but I guess he could be. All right.
Sweet.
Question number 2, please. Let's just keep it moving.
Let's keep rolling. Question number 2 up now.
What was Google's Android App Store's name before it was changed to Google Play in 2012? Again, what was Google's Android App Store's name before it was changed to Google Play in 2012? I see Rashad in the chat with the full correct answer of Android Market.
Yeah, Felipe had Market, but we were looking for full.
Looking for the full. Sorry. Congratulations, Rashad.
Rashad's got that really fast connection too.
He does too. Him and Eric.
Rashad's
they
a
might be
multi-show
like
winner.
Something.
Android Market.
Congratulations.
I just need to add that to our soundboard so that we can just spam that at that high quality bit. All right.
Good stuff. All right.
Android Market.
Android Market. All right. Well, question number 3, please.
Moving right along. Question number 3 going up now.
What processor powered the Nexus 4? Oh, what processor powered the Nexus 4? Can't wait to see what answers we get for this one.
Yeah, when I read it, I was like, oh.
I see Brett Wright. I'm seeing Brett Wright with the correct answer of the S4 Pro. Full answer, of course, would be Snapdragon S4 Pro, but we will accept S4 Pro. Good job, Brett Wright.
Okay, Felipe just dropped a Market, and we didn't accept that because it was Android Market, and Brett Wright just dropped an S4 Pro and didn't do Snapdragon, so...
in my mind, I was already looking for S4 Pro would have been an acceptable answer. However, for the Android Market question, it was not an appropriate answer.
That's true, because it went Android Market to Google Play. It's not like it was Google Market. Yes. I would agree with you on that. I'm just saying, we got to keep it. We got to keep it.
Hey, I'm fine with being you know what? You're all disqualified. Start over. No, I think S4 Pro is an acceptable answer for the question.
Okay. All right. Brandon Fisher in the chat says rules don't matter.
Hey, man. When you win, they don't.
I think in this case, I believe it's fine.
All right. Typically, when we have a question like this, because of course, Kellen and I have access to the questions and answers, and typically, if there's an answer that can have a kind of like maybe variations or something, I'll always have in parentheses acceptable answers. This time I forgot to do that, but I had already made up my mind that S4 Pro was going to be accepted. So
Felipe, you can hit us up after the chat or after the show too. We'll talk to you.
We got you. We got you.
We got you.
Here you go, Felipe. You're a win. All right.
We'll hook you up, Felipe.
Moving on. Brett Wright, again, congratulations.
Yes.
Sorry to take away from your excellent victory. Let's go with question number 4, please.
All right, question number 4 now.
What are the typical data speeds associated with Verizon's 5G home service? So you've got that peak speed, but we're looking for that typical speed. What are the typical? Yeah, what are the typical data speeds associated with Verizon's 5G home service? Birds are in the chat with the correct response of 300 megabits per second.
Yep, Birzer. That's big time.
Dude, Birzer gets all the horns. Man.
Birzer is across the pond, isn't he?
I think he should be, yeah, in the UK, I do believe.
Okay. I'm just saying, how are we going to get him one of these prizes?
Birzer, you have to pay shipping and handling, but we'll get it to you.
Oh, that's great. All right, Birzer, we'll have to figure something out there. Because I feel like he's won a couple of times, and he's always like, nah, just give it to somebody else. We'll figure it out, Birzer.
If we snail mail it, it's not that bad.
It'll take like a month to get there.
Yeah, take a month, but he'll get it. And
Birzer, you are in the States?
He's in the States. I thought for sure he was.
He just donated 10 pounds. Oh, no, that was Richard Ratner. Birzer is here. Never mind. Sorry, Birzer. I was confusing you with somebody else.
Oh. All right.
Remember, Birzer. Ignore everything I just said, everyone.
Yeah, we should wait probably until he sends us his shipping address. Then we'll give him the bad news and say, you know what I mean?
Sorry, Birzer.
Today's
the Sony thing threw me off because there's nobody loves Sony in the U.S. except Birzer, apparently.
No, that's true. Oh, I did. All right. He did win something previously, and I said, all right, we're good. We're good. I can't remember everyone's address.
Oh, man, we haven't done this trivia thing in a while.
We're off our
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay. Last final question.
Final question.
There's only one correct answer. So deal with it. Question number 5, please.
Question number 5 going up now.
How many software updates has the original NVIDIA Shield TV received since launch in 2015? Again, how many software updates has the original NVIDIA Shield TV received since launch in 2015?
Oh, them guesses just flowing in. Oh, boy.
Oh, I saw the correct answer, but
I did too.
It blew right past.
I think it's Chris.
I'm looking for the correct response of 20. Yes, Chris Weddle.
Yep. So I got 2.
All right.
Wenty.
Weddle or Weddell. I hope
Yep.
I'm pronouncing that correctly. Either way, 20. And they made a big deal about this. Oh, it's 20th update, et cetera, et cetera. Congratulations, Chris. I don't know if that was a good guess or maybe he just pays attention.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm thinking he just knew that. Because, 20 is, everyone else is like 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they bragged about one of their last updates. I think it was 7.2 or 7.1. They said it was their 20th update. The device the original one is 3 years old or something now. It's been around for a while, but 20 updates.
2015.
Yeah.
Damn impressive.
All right.
Oh God, the soundboard app has ads. Kill it with fire.
The soundboard app has it.
I mean, you're distributing someone else's like sounds, right? Content basically, and then you're getting ad revenue. I'm not a huge fan,
Kinda weird.
but whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Kind of weird. All right, so we've got a ton of winners. Eric, we're gonna hook up Felipe, Brett, Bertzer, Rashad, and Chris. I think that's right. That's the 6.
Chris in the chat with the $5 bomb dono.
Thank you so much, Chris, for the $5. He says, "I win, you win." This
It's like
I
kind
like
of paying us off for the dub. I'm not a huge fan of that, but all right. Oh God, it's a 30-second ad.
we do not accept bribes for trivia.
Yeah, you have to win, and then you can get to.
Yeah. That's great.
Thank you.
All right,
Chris.
cool. So, Tim's going to drop his email in the chat.
Yes, I have the prizes, so I am going to throw my email. This is very important, winners. Listen up. I'm going to throw my email down in the chat. You will email me. We will confirm your identity through a series of comprehensive authentication verification tests, and then you will give me your shipping address, and you will have your prize. There's my email.
And
Yes.
again, Felipe, make sure you email him too.
Yes, Felipe, please email me. Can you read off the winners one more time for me?
I believe it was Eric, Felipe, Rashad, Brett, Bertzer, and Chris.
All right.
Sent
Yeah,
an
we will
email
do our
right now.
due diligence, extreme vetting process. We're going to be more difficult to get prizes from than it is to become a Supreme Court justice. Let's just throw it up like that. So,
Couple of shots there, yeah.
oh yeah, shots fired. But yeah,
All right, cool.
either way.
All right, I think that's about it. Not a bad return show. We got a
there's a lot to
groove
talk
back.
about.
We will probably be doing shows most of the rest of the next few weeks for sure, because again, we've got new phones starting as early as next week with Razer. No, sorry, with LG. And then the week after that is Google and Razer. And then the week after that's probably OnePlus. I believe there's also like a Microsoft Surface event, in case anyone cares about that.
Cardboard Trent.
Big Don still hanging around. Dave in the chat with $5 says happy Friday. Thanks so much, Dave. Thank you
Dave,
so much.
you guys are
God,
killing
you guys killed it with the donations day. You guys are far too nice.
We're going
And
out
I'm
to
glad
dinner
that we can
tonight.
hang out with you all on these Fridays. It is this is one of the one of my favorite things that we get to do with Droid Life is the show. And I know we don't always do it every single Friday, but it is good. It's a lot of the same people in the chat every single week. Have good conversations. It's always a good time. So appreciate all that support.
You guys are too nice.
Yeah. And 30-second ad. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think that's it. So stay tuned. Next week will be a bunch of stuff going down. Yeah, I know there's going to be leaks and stuff too, but we'll start getting some official announcements about stuff very, very soon. Some interesting stuff I think is on the horizon. So
It's a busy month.
thanks so much for joining us. We're Droid Life. Peace.
Peace.